Hey, I'm Dan Cleary, and I wanted to show you one of my photographs from my Wright Brothers Then and Now series, and all the different steps in Photoshop that I use to create the image and merge the historic photograph with the current day photograph of mine. So this is called Speed Test at Fort Myers. And Fort Myer is a small military base in Arlington, Virginia, right outside Washington. And it is currently the base where the Joint Chiefs of Staff have their offices. It is also the Arlington National Cemetery surrounds this base, and it's been here since the Civil War. Now, it took me about 6 months to get permission to, get onto the base. Finally, they gave me permission, and I had all the paperwork in hand. So I traveled out there from Ohio to Washington in November. And luckily, again, I had very, very perfect weather for the one day that I was going to be there to take these photographs. And as you can see, this particular image got a little complicated. Now, I love the historic photograph. Photographers with their gear and they're, watching the Orville, fly around this parade grounds. And this parade grounds is actually very small. You wouldn't even think of this as being large enough to fly an airplane on. When I was there, I took a few hundred photographs because I didn't know exactly which of my photographs was going to work best with the historic photographs that I had. So we'll start with declicking all these images, and you can see there are really a whole variety of steps. Some images, some of the layers move to the front. Some layers are in the back. You have some of the historic photograph that is in front. Some of the my photograph is in the back. So there are just a whole variety of steps. I mean, these things just get complicated. And you start off with an open field and think, how can that be turned into a photograph? So as you can see, I did my desaturation. Apparently, I took out the water tower. One of these. This is the historic photograph that I liked, that I wanted to use. So then it's just a matter of deciding what parts of the photograph I'm going to start putting in there, and what parts will, float from different layers. And this was complicated because I had to kind of work around the cars that were there, decide what parts of the historic photograph we're going to mingle in with photograph from modern day. And as you can see, this gets rather complicated. But those are all the steps that it takes to come in and create one of my photographs. Now, the quote is from Gutzon Borglum, who was the sculptor for Mount Rushmore. At the time when he was making these flight demonstrations, this was a really big deal in Washington. He happened to be there doing some lobbying, I'm assuming, for himself. Anybody who was anybody wanted to come out to see Orville make his flight demonstrations. And so he was interviewed by a newspaper reporter because he was someone famous himself. And this is what he said when he saw Orville flying around the field. So thank you very much, and I hope that was informative for you, and have a great day.